You should know by now that MotoGP god Valentino Rossi announced he'll be riding a Ducati for the next 2 years. And during that time, all Italians automatically get into heaven. And I took a lot of crap from certain commenters about the complexity of information in last week's Shakedown. So to those of you who can only process simplicity, let me explain the Rossi story so you can understand it. Rossi is a really good motorcycle rider. He wins lots of MotoGP championships. MotoGP is like Formula One, but for motorcycles. Motorcycles are like half a car because they only have 2 wheels. But motorcycles are really loud, fast, and do wheelies. So motorcycles are fun to watch. And Valentino Rossi is so good, he's really fun to watch. Welcome to the new Shakedown, the special ed edition. Now here's a dog chasing a race car. JF, do I really need to dumb this down this much? Pirelli started testing its 2011 F1 tires. They're using the 2009 Toyota GP car and Nick Heidfeld. Hey, do I need to be the guy that points out that neither car nor driver can give them P1 level feedback because both have never won in Formula One? Pirelli says that by testing with Toyota versus an active team like a McLaren, they won't be giving any one of the regulars a leg up advantage. So where did they test? One of Ferrari's tracks, Mugello. Yeah, I bet the boys in red learned nothing. Ha. Pirelli will test in more locations, but they're being careful not to pick places too close to New York's Ground Zero or an Islamic mosque. You know, I think I just confused stories there. Speaking of facing off at offending foreigners, here's a question for you. With Italian Pirelli replacing French Michelin with various teams, manufacturers, and drivers from different countries, which country makes the most impact on F1? Your choices are Italy, England, France, Germany, and give me your reasons why. Now I'm going to treat you like an adult and take another run at new rules and new cars coming down the pike for 2011 and 2012. First, let's talk DTM, German touring cars, and Japan SuperGT, because racecar-engineering.com says the 2 series are getting together to codify specs. This may open up DTM to Lexus, Nissan, Honda, and SuperGT to accept more 4-door cars. Kurz is rumored too. It's all taking place 2012. Staying in Japan shows us what will happen when the Grand Am DP class gets its tweaks in 2011. Paddle shifts will be allowed with other tech improvements. But GA is also going to fix the ugly, and this GT300 DP chassis sheet-end shows us how handsome the cars can become. Also coming out of Japan, Sony's Gran Turismo 5 racing sim has finally announced its on-sale date. November 2nd for the US, November 3rd for Europe. GT5 includes WRC, Super GT, and NASCAR, night racing, finally crash damage, and more cars and tracks than ever. This could be the best $60 in racing. Now this weekend the action picks up with WRC in Germany, British touring car at Silverstone, DTM at Zandvoort, Le Mans Series at the Hungaroring, Super GT at Suzuka, and ALMS at Road America, known to the world as one of the most worldly, most classic road courses in the US. Road America has been home to the Can-Am cars of the 60s and 70s, Indy cars into the 90s, and so much more since the track's first road race in 1954. But now, we have Vaughn Gittin baptizing the famous corners with a Mustang drift lap. To show you, let's mash up past and present.
Meanwhile, the other team from down under is way up on top and beginning to widen the lead. Dan Gurney third, the Penske Sunoco Specials, and John Surtees is sixth. Famous Chaparral is barely hanging on to ninth behind Peter Revson. John Surtees getting by George Fulmer to take over 5th place. Then around the Canada corner. Oops, Hume is really pushing it, blasting his way into an echo chamber called Thunder Valley.
Redline Time Attack just visited another classic American track, Sebring. And Chris Rado brought his newest Scion TC, now with all-wheel drive and 1,200 to 1,400 horsepower, depending on which blog you read. But Sebring became a shakedown for the Scion as the team worked through mechanical kinks with the brakes and ignition, so it never turned a hot lap. But to give you an idea of what's to come, here's the old front-wheel drive 1,000 horsepower Scion versus a Corvette Z06. Wow, I thought objects were supposed to appear smaller in the mirror, not the windshield. And how's this for a tie-in? The TC runs Weissman transmissions and Locker diffs, made famous by being in the McLaren Can-Am cars seen in the Gittin mashup. Go to Weissman.net to learn all about their history. You'll be amazed. But one guy they apparently never worked with was Parnelli Jones. He had recent publicity with the return of the Mustang Boss 302. In the old Trans Am days, PJ was the boss. He's in the orange number 15, up front, or passing, or sliding the corner like a 70s Gittin. Two stories. First about the original 1969 and 70 Boss race cars. While Penske was acid-dipping Camaro bodies to lighten them, rumor is that Ford countered by simply having the Mustang assembly plant build a few Boss bodies with thinner gauge steel. Ran them right down the line. See how racing in the old days was more honest, running real cars? Ha! Second story. I raced against Parnelli's kid, Paige, and PJ used to call me Mario. Said I was just like Andretti. 'Cause I raced hard? No, he barked, 'cause you're a pain in the ass just like he was.